Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. In this video I'll be showcasing some models I've recently completed, and these models are Space Marine Scouts. So a bit of a backstory: these were old models that I actually bought second hand. They're all metal, old style Scouts. They were pre-painted and I sprayed over them, painted them, did the best I could. So the detail isn't as excellent as buying them out of the box or anything like that. But as you can see, I painted all the bases brown. I did paint the bases green originally, and I did paint them with their armour plating red and sort of like khaki colour. But I've just taken my painting to the next level and applied all of my little highlighting and wash techniques and bits and pieces that I've learned to these models, sort of like revamp them. And that's the great thing about 40k, as you know, or about any miniature painting. You can just paint your models at your current paint skill set, and then later on, if you've learnt new techniques and things, you can try them out. You can completely refresh your model. Take my Warhound Titan for instance. That was grey and yellow, and that was when I just painted grey and yellow. I didn't think about washes, I didn't think about highlighting, but I'd spray it white and then just paint yellow over the top, and I might have put some Seraphim Sepia, but that's about it. Whereas obviously now, back in the hobby for the past 2-3 years, I've just improved my techniques, and we'll see that here. Well, we'll hope we'll see that here. Remember, my painting isn't the best in the world by any means. I probably have put a couple of painting tutorials out by now, but let's just have a little look. So this Space Marine Scout Sergeant, sort of see his detail and things. Got his eyes and the blacks in his eyes, the whites of his eyes, sort of giving him a blinged chest piece really, gold with washed. He's got a lens there for his bolt pistol. He's got a chainsword, even got his lens for his digital laser, or whatever you want to call that. I'm trying to get the lighting right, guys. Yeah, highlighting on the black is probably the best thing you can see. And this guy, I've given him a black blade, sort of like a tactical blade. Bit of a derp face, just because I've been painting layers on layers on layers. I think I've got the highlighting for the khaki areas down to a T now. This heavy bolter guy, I really like him. Looks awesome with a little bipod and his ammo pack. I think he's only got one extra round of ammunition, but there we go. This guy's always sort of reminded me of that guy from Star Trek. Forgotten his name. You know, with the Mon visor. This guy again with a tactical sort of blade, black blade with a bit of an edge on there. I haven't really ever seen that done before, so I thought, hey, you know what, I'll try it. And if you notice, I've got the lenses that are varnished with a dot of white in on the bolt pistols. This missile launcher dude, frigging awesome. I love him, love the model, love the pose. Absolute joy to paint, bring to life. This guy again with just a bolt pistol, got some of that blood for the blood god paint on there. I've even done the lenses for the eye, for the sights. I really like them, and I've obviously put them in the black, you know, to match the army. And then these sniper dudes, changed their bases, put some sort of trees, some undergrowth around them. I've sort of played around with a camo cloak sort of effect. I mean, woodland area, maybe I should have gone for brown, but it works okay. Likewise with this guy, absolutely hidden. I like his little sniper rifle with the mottled grass on there. I love it. And then these two twins, unfortunately back in the day there were only about 10 Space Marine Scouts that, you know, you either had snipers, of which there were only two types of model, and then all of these. So all of these bolt pistol and knife Scouts were different, and then the missile launcher and the heavy bolter and the sergeant. But sniper rifles, there are only two types, so unfortunately you end up with this guy and this guy looking a bit like twins. But I like how I've done the colour of the eyes and the black in there. I've really worked on highlighting bits of the face. Got a lens there for the sniper rifle. And then all the highlighting on the khaki pants, trousers, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, that's basically my little showcase of my Space Marine Scouts. I'm slowly building up my 10th company. Pretty much got all of the Scouts now. I just need a few more land speeders and then they'll be done. I've got the HQ section and the captain for the 10th company. By the time you're watching this, that company will be done. First company was done ages ago, and that's all that got all the veterans in it. I may or may not have already put my army update, who knows. This video was shot in June and I might have released it September, October time when it gets a bit quiet. Oh well, I'll just talk to you a little bit about tactics. Space Marines in the old codex, I say old, it only came out like 3 years ago or so, they had a slight problem in that their weapon skill and ballistic skill was 3, but then they had pretty much all the other stats as normal Space Marines, but they only had their Scout armour, which was 4+. Contrary to the previous editions of Scouts where their weapon skills and ballistic skills were 4, that was a pretty poor downgrade really. And they were still almost the same points, 55 points for 5 of them really. You could still have your missile launcher with and your heavy bolter, things like that. Why should their weapon skill and ballistic skill be lower? I sort of understand it a little bit in that, you know, they're training, they're recruits, but they're still part of the chapter. And I know that after their scout training, they then go into the Devastator squad, then the assault squad, then finally the tactical squad, and work up from there. But still, that was a little bit unfair to knock their weapon skill and ballistic skill down. It meant that missile launchers were then hit. You had a 50-50 chance. Heavy bolters weren't as effective. Even in combat for knife and bolt pistol scouts, they didn't fare as well as they used to. The strength and toughness was still decent though. And then the new codex came out last year in 2015, less than 2 years from previous one. So it changed it. They kept the same points, so 55 points, but it changed it to weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4. Pretty much everything else stayed the same. That was brilliant. I mean, they all come with bolt guns and then bolt pistols, but then any model can replace their bolt gun with a shotgun or close combat weapon. For free. It made them that much more viable, going around with, you know, you could have 5 of them, 55 points, that's a little troop choice there. It made equipping them with bolt guns that much more viable. And obviously they've got the chapter tactics, the combat squads, they've got infiltrate, move through cover and scout, and of course they can always take a land speeder storm as a dedicated transport. Really, if you're paying standard force organisations, they're always a really good little choice to have because they've got that move through cover and infiltrate and things like that. Cheap choice. You could get 2 squads of them, even just with the bolt guns, for 110 points, and that's your troop choice. Then you could really spend your points on your HQ and then spend the rest on elites and heavy support, maybe a couple of fast attack, and before you know it you've got your 1,000 points and you don't have to buy 250 point tactical squads or anything like that. So they're still a really viable, cheap option, and the only thing that's negative about them really is the -1 leadership, I suppose, and their save. I mean, they've still got a 50-50 chance of surviving. Their toughness 4 just adds to that survivability. What do you think? What are your opinions on Scouts? Put it in the comments below. But that's it from me today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.